Let mutual love continue. Do not neglect to show hospitality to strangers. Hospitality is what I want to spend a little time with this morning, and I want to share is that hospitality is not like a useful add-on for Christians, an optional thing that you can do, because it was central to Jesus' ministry. It was an essential part of who he was. And it's curious because Jesus in many ways in the Gospels appears to be the host. He's known for welcoming tax collectors and sinners at table, except that, well, he didn't have a table. I mean, this was Jesus who didn't have a home, Jesus who was always on the road, Jesus who, when it was time for the last Passover with his disciples, would borrow an upper room to be able to have a place to host them. Now, this word hospitality in the Greek New Testament is philos, xenos, love of strangers. So what we say as hospitality is actually just showing love for the stranger. And so our reading from Hebrews this morning, what it literally says is, continue loving one another, but don't continue to be unmindful of loving strangers. Good to love each other, love strangers. I want to share with you a story that for me was a time when I really received that love as a stranger arriving at someone's doorstep. And I want to turn back to the scripture again and see where we are. It happened for me when my wife and I were hiking the Appalachian Trail in a single hike. And you know, the beauty of that is its simplicity in many ways. Every day you know what you're going to do, right? You're going to just walk a little further down the way. You need food, you need shelter, you need water, but it's that last one that I want to talk about. Because while much of the time we were spending 6 months hiking, there was plenty of water. Well, it started to run thin for us by the time we got up into New Jersey, New York, Connecticut, and by the time we were in Massachusetts, the water sources we needed just weren't there. There would be a spring that was marked in a book, and you couldn't find anything where it was supposed to be. There would be a stream, and it was down to this trickle up under the leaves and filled with mosquitoes, and you're trying to do the best you can. There was this one day in western Massachusetts, we're hiking 15 to 20 miles a day, and you just need a lot of water. And we would keep just a little bit of reserve down the bottom of your canteen, and it's there sort of haunting us. You can hear it on the pack sloshing around. You know it's hot, and you want it anyway. And it came down to where we just had not been able to find water, and we couldn't go any further. And we crossed this little 2-lane blacktop in the middle of nowhere. There's nothing but trees, but we had to get something to drink. And so we look, and there's no way to decide which way to go. You look one-way trees, and it's sort of like, well, okay, and off we go. We go down the road, and we're looking, we go around a bend, and there's nothing but trees, and we go back, and then there's a house. That wasn't what I noticed first. What I noticed was the water spigot out in the yard near the pond. And our pace quickens, and we get moving, and we're like, you know, just driving toward this sustenance. And then, you know, sort of some decorum kicks in. I realize that there's a car in the yard. Someone's probably home. They probably shouldn't hear the water running out. You know, so, okay. So we go up and knock on the door. This woman comes to the door, and, you know, in retrospect, later we would help out some hikers while we were hiking, and I have an appreciation for how pungent we would have been. So we knock, and I try to explain our sort of parks predicament here about how there's no water. We're just going to grab some from the hose here. We're good. And about that time, our husband comes up behind us, and before I know it, we're sitting in the kitchen. Our packs are off. She is serving us ice-cold lemonade. And wait for it. This is amazing. As we were walking down the road, she had put fresh homemade cookies in the oven, and they were just coming. You just cannot get enough calories when you're hiking all day, every day for months. And those things coming out, it was like manna from heaven, except it tasted better than what it sounds like manna tastes like. And it was wonderful. And they were just so nice. They didn't know. They'd been living there almost 2 years, and they had no idea that the Appalachian Trail passed nearby. There were no markers when you were driving the road near there. And so we just appeared out of nowhere for them in their kitchen. They just, you know, so great. We had a nice little conversation. They filled up our canteens, and I remember them putting little ice cubes in the top, just a few, so that it would be cool the next time we needed it. And when we left, we left with something that was so much more than just the water. If we'd stopped off there, there had been no car there, we knocked and nobody came, and we'd get water, that would have been wonderful. But there was something about that welcome, that hospitality. When I think about that, I think about church, I think about how we can forget sometimes the very deep spiritual thirst that people have. The ways people can feel, I don't know, abandoned by God, not loved by other people, come into the doors here, not sure they're going to be welcome, and they are that parched. This is the place where the real host said, I'll leave 99 sheep behind to go out for the one who's out there. And I'll look, and I'll find him, and I'll bring him in, because I don't want anyone left out in the cold. And I think this is the insight we need to have. Sometimes I think we worry about things that just don't worry God at all. What's great about it, I think there's some things that actually keep the Holy Trinity up at night, and I'm not kidding about that. And it's really the fact that everywhere you and I go, we're surrounded by people who are masking a deep pain. Some real wounds. Often they came sometime between like 10 and 25, or I don't know when it came, but some idea that they just didn't measure up in some way. They'd fallen short, they'd hurt somebody, they didn't know what to do. And the thing is that I really want to help people get to heaven, but I really want to get them out of the hell they're in right now first. We can talk of the hope of heaven next, but it can be sexual abuse, physical abuse, emotional abuse, sometimes suffered in the church itself, all kind of wounds, all kind of ways people hurt, and one source of healing. And if we remember that kind of purpose, that kind of hunger, that sort of need, then it sort of changes everything. Because the people that we see everywhere we go can be mad at stuff, so we don't see what's really happening inside them. And we know that there is another way. We can repent, we can turn to God, we can experience that grace and love and forgiveness and healing and be given a community in which to experience that. And I think that's why this is not an add-on for Jesus. If you can get around to it, be hospitable. It's really a very part of who God is. Because the thing is that this is the one place where there actually are no strangers. I mean, we all enter as strangers. Cindy Taylor, when she came out and started church here, was not known in the community. Even if a baby is born to a family who's a part of this church, the baby arrives unknown. But no matter how any of us arrive, when we come to this altar, we're fully known and fully loved by the real host. And so the real hospitality is something that's happening kind of without us, but that we get to be part of. And in some eternal sense, stranger is just a temporary term. Gathered around the altar in heaven, there will be no strangers. All will be fully known and fully loved. You get this view that Jesus had in the parable of the Good Samaritan. It's this opposite view of the way that you think the world works. Jesus working from the outside in. An expert on Moses' law comes to him and he's asking what he has to do to inherit eternal life. And he gets to love God with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength. Love your neighbor as yourself. And then he asks, who is my neighbor? And it's very clear that for this man, he's starting with, I'm here. How far out do I have to go with this love thing before I've done enough of it so I can stop? Where's the people I can be indifferent to? Where's the one? And when Jesus tells the parable, he doesn't start that way at all. Jesus starts with the person in need, the person who's on the road and they're dead, and starts outward from that person and basically says, who do I got in the area? I need someone to help here. He would have gladly used the priest and the Levite. He's happy to use the despised Samaritan, but Jesus' project is different from yours and mine. I'm a little more self-centered than I think my Lord wants me to be. I start with me and look outward. I do it all the time. But Jesus starts with the person in need. And then he starts to look and say, what can I do about this? I told you about the Wileys. Roy and Marilyn Wiley, they were the ones that day who offered us water. There was a little bit of a follow-up, and I found it very interesting. It came 13 years later. Victoria and I were planting King of Peace Episcopal Church. It was started a year to the day after Holy Comfort. Y'all were a great inspiration. Your your pastor, Cindy, was a great help to me, just personally, professionally. But when we were starting the church, I remembered them. I got thinking about what they did for us, and I thought, I want a church like that. And I got just wondered about them. So there's a book that the Appalachian Trail Through Hiker's Companion, and it tells you sort of the tips and tricks of where you might find things or whatever, and I decided to see if they were in it. And sure enough, I found them there. They were listed under Washington Mountain Road. Who knew it had a name? It was in Massachusetts, and they called Maryland the Cookie Lady. And the listing said that there was always water available at spigot, help yourself, but the book notes that there's often homemade cookies available too, and there was a phone number there for them in case hikers needed anything. So I gave a call. Now, I got to say, she didn't remember our names, but as I tried to describe myself, she absolutely remembered. She was like, we've never forgotten you, never forgotten that day. We had no idea there was that need right there. We weren't paying attention to the weather. We didn't really realize that the drought would be like that for somebody. And she said, you know, once we found out how much it meant to you to have that cold drink and to have those warm cookies, it's kind of hard not to offer it to somebody else. And so we went out, and Roy put a sign out on the trail so that other hikers who followed would know that they could just come down and where to get to us. And then the next year we looked for it again, and in fact she said that they kind of liked it when it was hot and a little bit more drought conditions because they saw more hikers. I mention this because it really gets at the heart of hospitality, which is if we think about it, we can think about what we're doing for someone else in showing God's grace and love to them. But really, the greatest gift of hospitality is what it does for the person offering. When I talked to Marilyn on the phone that day, that became clear that many, many hikers across 13 years who had just come to love and appreciate them because of that hospitality. And they would have never known that otherwise. But they had taken really what they had for granted. They had the refrigerator with cool drinks, an oven where they could make whatever they wanted, and they had no idea that there were people so in need, so close. This, I think, gets at the life-giving, world-changing good news of Jesus Christ. It's that the thing that you and I have, knowing that there is forgiveness, knowing that there is healing and redemption, it's not something everybody knows. We have neighbors. They know about church. They've heard about Jesus. But they've come to decide that this is the one place that doesn't have the answer. And we have to show them a different kind of love that's more concerned for them than for, well, growing holy comfort. I think God wants this church to thrive, but I don't think church attendance is something God really cares much for one way or the other. And yet, when the church is part of that welcome, part of that healing, part of that holiness, God is very much on the page. We could decide that it doesn't matter much how we welcome people here, how we invite people here, what we do, and yet I think it has eternal significance. It changes so much. It's at the heart of being a follower of Jesus. Love God with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength. Love your neighbor as yourself. And in that, we find something more for ourselves. It's not a decorative add-on to our beliefs, but it is a blessing that we get to have. So here's the word. Continue loving one another, but don't continue being unmindful of loving strangers. Because God wants to bless you and me by letting us be a blessing to someone else.